Hey guys, this is Parth from FTC Team 7477, and today we're going to be talking about the Lynx module and bulk reading in FTC. So the Lynx module is a is a class that you initialize for each hub on your robot. So you'll instantiate one Lynx module for each hub on your robot. And what this allows you to do is it one minor thing is it allows you to change the LED colors of the hub. We're not going to cover that in this video, but we're going to cover the main focus of the Lynx module, which is bulk reading and also current inputting voltage and current. So bulk reading is kind of a new concept, but basically what it is when you have a loop and you're getting sensor values or motor encoder values, it goes one by one, so it can take a while. Bulk reading reads all those sensors at once, or at least the majority of those sensors at once. So it speeds up your loops it speeds up your loops a lot, and it really helps with your loop runtime, and it makes your whole code work much better. So um, just like motors and servos and sensors, you use the hardware map to initiate the Lynx module. So we're going to do something different here. Since there's two of them, one for each hub, we're going to create a list. And it's going to be of the type Lynx module. And we're just going to call this all hubs. Make sure you import your Lynx module. And I don't even have the list class imported. Right. So we're going to call it all hubs and set it equal to hardware map dot get all Lynx module dot class. So that's the exact line you're going to use. Of course, you can change this, but all hubs is a really nice name to use. And this will set up your Lynx module. And we talked about bulk reading, right? And well, there's three modes for it. There's off, there's auto mode, and there's manual mode. So let's talk about a bit how to set these modes. So we want to set it to each hub, right? So let's use a for loop. For Lynx module hub colon, meaning in all hubs. We're gonna access each hub and set the bulk caching mode. And first we're gonna look at off. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not gonna be bulk caching. And I do not recommend this because bulk caching really helps when you're reading sensor input to speed up your loops. So we are not going to be using the off mode, and I really do not recommend you using this. I recommend you using the auto or manual mode. So let's look at the auto mode first. So hub.set bulk caching mode auto. And that's really, if you're using the auto mode, that's really all you need to do. It'll automatically clear the bulk cache when it needs to, and you can access your sensor input. Now, the one thing that I will tell you is that with this mode, you can't access the sensor input twice in the same loop, which there might be instances where you need it and you can't access it twice in the same loop. So, for example, let me actually just instantiate a motor. And show you what I mean. So here, if I wanted to get, let's just call it int position 1 equals motor 1 dot get current position, and int position 2 equals motor 1 dot get current position. This wouldn't work with the auto bulk caching mode. And if you're using a custom PIDs, which we'll get on to later in the tutorial series, this is not going to work. So this is well, I recommend if you're just starting out with this and you don't really get the ropes of bulk caching, but the mode that I would recommend if you know how to use is the manual mode. So all you need to do is change the auto to manual. And this mode allows you to access the sensor values as many times as you want in the loop. However, there's a pretty big catch is that when you're looping or using for loops or while loops, you need to clear the cache. Otherwise, it's going to cause your robot to go haywire. Auto automatically clears the cache for you. Manual, you need to do it yourself, as per the name. So this line to do it, it's kind of similar to the logic we used here, but basically it's going to be for links module in all hubs. Hub dot, sorry, give me 1 second. For links module hub in all hubs. Hub dot clear bulk cache. And yeah, that is what you need to do in every loop. So there's a while loop here, right? That whole loop looping your program. But let's say I have another loop here. And then in this, I'd also need to clear my bulk cache. And this will probably get a bit annoying to copy and paste this line of code every single time. So we're going to make it into a function. So I'm just going to call it reset cache. So public void reset cache. And all you need to do is pass in your list of all your hubs. So this is going to be a links module list named all hubs. And I'm just going to all hubs, sorry, for links module hub in all hubs hub dot clear bulk cache. And now instead of using this whole line, you can just do that. And this will reset your cache, and you just use it whenever you're looping. Now, if you have a base class, which we'll get into how to do later in this video, later in this tutorial, sorry, you don't need to pass anything in. You can just do it in your base class, and we'll talk about base classes later in this tutorial series. But now we've talked about bulk reading, we're going to talk a bit more about the uses for the links modules, specifically two functions. So, and what these functions are is get input voltage and get current. What get input voltage does is literally just returns battery voltage. And you can use this to see maybe if my battery is lower than a certain threshold, I need to lower my powers on my motors just to make sure my battery doesn't run out. Get current supplies the current draw from the whole rev hub, from the whole hub, including everything plugged into it. So it'll just give you, sometimes you can access the current of the hub, or usually it's used for a motor, but you can also access the current of a hub to see the whole current draw, to see if you need to like lower some powers to stop the current draw from being as high. So the way we do this is, again, we're going to use a for loop and the same logic for links module hub and all hubs, and we're going to, let's call it double, and let's call it battery voltage equals hub.get input voltage. Now it's going to let you pick a unit, and this can be volts or millivolts. I'm just going to use volts. So that's going to give you your battery voltage. And I'm also going to show you the current, which is the same thing except just call it current. And this function is literally just called get current. The voltage unit can be in amps or milliamps. And sorry, its current unit can be in amps or milliamps. So that is a basic overview. That is the broad overview of Lynx modules, and now you know all the functions that Lynx modules can help you with. Um, really try to implement the bulk caching into your code. And thank you for watching.